Good morning, my gorgeous friends on the internet. In today's episode, we are going to create a little web scraper that's going to be really fun. We're going to track down an Amazon price. So let's say this Apple iMac here. And once it goes below a price that we fancy, our node server is going to send us an SMS to our phone with the new price, the product link page, and the title. So here it is. That's my phone. Cool. So let's get started. And before we get started, I want to mention that there's still a couple of coupons left of the Fullstack React course. So if you're interested in learning React and creating an awesome e-commerce website, check out the link below. Get it while it's still going. Okay, let's get going. So open up VS Code, and for this, all you need to have installed is Node.js. So if you don't have that, Node.js, click this button here, install, you're good to go. Once you have that, you should be able to run node v like that, and it pops up there. So I'm just in an empty folder here, nothing in here. And what I'm going to do is say npm init, and then hit enter, 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 and boom, done. So that creates us a package.json because we need to install a couple of modules to get this working. And first of all is going to be, we need a way to get to fetch basically the data from this page. All right, so we're gonna need two packages. So we're gonna say npm install, and we're gonna say Axios, and the second one is gonna be Cheerio, like that, and hit install. Cool. Now that that's installed, we can make a file called, let's call this scrape.js. Cool. Okay, so let's import these dependencies. Or packages, let's call them packages. So we can say const Axios is equal to require Axios. So this little package is used to basically fetch the URL, fetch the data, and Cheerio is used to actually parse the data from this page, to actually extract the titles and extract whatever information we want from the site. So let's also import Cheerio. Let's say require Cheerio. And that's it. Cool. So our URL, I'm going to make just a simple variable here. I'm just going to paste in this URL like that. Okay, and I'm going to create a little function, and this is going to be an async function because it might take a little bit of time till we get the data back. So make sure you have async in front here. And then what we need to do is basically fetch it using Axios. So let's say fetch the data. We're gonna say const data in curly brackets like that, and say await axios.get, and we're gonna pass in the URL. All right, so we're basically extracting the data in this little variable here. So if we console log data, let's run this function here, scrape. And to actually execute this file, all we need to do is say node scrape.js and hit run. So let's see what that gives us back. Oh my God. So there we go. Let's scroll up. All right, we get back this huge donk here. But it's hard to actually read, right? Look at this, absolute madness. So we have back all the HTML here basically, but what we want to do is extract the specific ones that we need, right? Only the price, the title. So Axios does get us the data, does fetch us all the HTML, but we use Cheerio to actually select the things that we need and store them in some data. So let's do that. Let's say load up the HTML in Cheerio. So const, do a $sign here and set that equal to Cheerio.load data. All right, so we're passing it this HTML basically. And after we pass it this HTML, we can do kind of like a query selector on it and extract everything that we need. So we can do something like, let's say, extract the data that we need. All right. And actually, before we do that, I'm going to come up here and just make a little a little variable that's going to hold us all the data that we need. So we're going to call it product, which is going to be an object. So let's say we want to extract the name. I'm going to leave that as an empty pair of strings. Let's get the image, maybe not the image. Let's do price. All right, that's something that we need. And the URL. So I'll just say link. All right, I'm going to leave everything just an empty pair of strings. Cool. Let's hit save on that. Awesome. All right, so that's it. So how do we get these different things? Well, we can go down here and say product.name. All right, so we're accessing this property here, and we're setting that equal. And now we can use Cheerio. So we can use this $sign, all right, because we're loaded up the HTML there. And we can say item here, dot find. And here we can do h1 span product title, like that. Okay, so where is this coming from? Well, if we do inspect element here and you basically go on this title here, you can see there's a h1 and the ID's product title. All right, so you're basically adding this dot find on it, the element you want to get, in this case h1, right? And in that h1 there's a span called product title. All right, so if I console log this product.name now, let's run this again. Hopefully it looks a bit better now. It says item not found. Okay, let's see what's up with that. Oh, okay, so what this item is actually, I don't think we even need it. What I did initially was just get the whole page here, the whole container, and looked in that one, but I think we can actually just get rid of that. Let's try this, see if that works. If not, we'll get that. Okay, so it gives you back this little shebang, but essentially what you need to do is add a dot text to it, just to extract the text. Now let's see if that works. Okay, we are not getting back anything. So I think you do need to pass it a container. So I'm just gonna get this huge one here. All right, DP container. This holds basically everything that we need. And I'm just gonna store that in an item. So let's go up here and say const, let's do it below the $sign here. Const item is equal to $sign. And in here, we're gonna say div that has DP container, like that. And this is amazon.co.uk. If you're using another website or amazon.com, it might be a bit different. So, but you can look this up. It's super easy. Let's try that again. Okay, still not getting back anything. Oh, because we need to pass the item in here. So we're basically checking in this container if there's a h1 with a span of product title. Run it again. Hopefully we get it back this time. There we go. Yes. Perfect. All right, so if we console log out just the product now, as you can see, that's going to be populated with our new text. Awesome. So now we need to get the price and link as well. And again, it's just kind of looking it up, clicking on this, as you can see, a price whole, and the link we actually already have. So for the link, we can literally do product.link is equal to URL, right? The URL that we're passing it in here. So that's done. And then the price, we can do const price. This is going to be a bit longer. We can do item like that. And we can find, I'm just going to go down on the new line here. It's a span with a class of a price whole. All right, a price whole. Cool. So now, the thing though, if I save this, since it's not an ID, there's many different a price wholes here, like this one and this one, right? So this is going to return us all of them. So what I can do is just do a dot first here, and that's just going to get back the first one. And also dot text at the end. All right, so let's see what that gives us back. Let's do a console log price. Run this again. And look at that. 1, comma, 199 dot. All right, now the formatting is a bit funky here. Because eventually what I want to do is turn this into a number because it's a string now. So basically what I want to do is get rid of dots and commas and stuff like that. So when I do a price check on it, I want to be able to do if price is smaller than, let's say, $1,200, like that, rather than, you know, in a string formation, because I cannot really do a check if it's a string. So basically what we need to do is go here at the end and do a little replace. And this is a really simple one. What you need to do is add parentheses and 2 backslashes like that. And in here you can add brackets like an array, and you can just specify the things that you want to be removed. So in this case, I don't want a comma, so I'm going to add comma and a dot to get rid of that as well. I'm going to add a G here at the end, comma, and then an empty pair of strings, which basically says, well, if you detect a comma or you detect a dot, just add nothing. All right, replace it with nothing. And that's it. So let's run this again. Node scrape.js, so hopefully it will round it up nicely. And there we go, it does. Cool. Now one last thing is if we do a type of on this price, we're gonna see that it's still a string. So again, I want to do a simple check and if statements. So for that, I'm going to take the string and just convert it into an integer. So to do that, we can do const. I'm going to say price num or price int you can do. And you can just do a parse int and pass in this price like that. Okay, cool. And that's it. So you can do product.price equals to this new price num. And if we do a console log of product now, you can see that everything is nice and updated. Boom. So now that's a number. We have our name and we have our link. All right. So what does that mean? That we are ready to send an SMS. So for this one, we are going to need a package called Twilio. So let's do npm install Twilio, and also another package called what is it called? .env. So .env. This basically allows us to hide any sensitive information in our, what's that error then? Is it not Twilio? Let's see, Twilio npm. Let's go here quickly. And yeah, oh, it's with one L. Misspelled it. Okay, so Twilio, and let's do another one, npm install .env, like that. So what this .env allows us to do is create a .env file here, and we can specify like sensitive info, and let's say we have like a code or something, or like a password, we can add it here. And then in our scrape.js, we can go up here at the top and say require .env.config, like that. And now we can have access to it anywhere we want. So sensitive info here, I can just do a console log process.env.sensitive info. All right, and you're not exposing this to anyone now. So if I run node scrape.js, as you can see, boom, it's there. All right, so we have that. So the reason why we need this .env is because Twilio, if you sign up on Twilio, Google Twilio, sign up here, and you're gonna get to this page here, and they allow you like a trial account, which is really cool. And then here, I believe it's going to appear for you to claim a trial phone number. So you can click on that, and that's going to give you a Twilio phone number. But you have this account SID and this auth token. So I want you to go and copy these two over. You can go up here and in your env and do Twilio account SID, and Twilio off token, like that. Set the equal to and copy these two over like that. You can copy, I'm gonna just do a little bit of this. Whatever, I'll delete the account. It is what it is now. Get your own, don't be lazy. All right, so those are the two. Cool. So now here, to have access to those, this is like the fun part of making tutorials. Every time you make something with like .env files, you're like, oh, just have to burn that account down because everyone's gonna be on it. Just do const account SID, and you can set that to process .env dot Twilio, whatever you named it here, Twilio account SID. There we go. And then the other one, const off token, is gonna be process. Oh, that's just not a const, is it? Dot Twilio off token. I believe we named it. Let's take a look. What's that? Yeah, that's it. Why did I do it with two L's here? It's one. There we go. Twilio. Okay, that should be all right. Const. Let's just console log these out. I know for a fact I messed it up. Account SID off token. All right, so hopefully you get both of those back here, and we do. Okay, cool. Whew. All right, so now we can finally import this Twilio package. So we can say const client require Twilio, and then you do another parentheses where you pass down your credentials like that. Okay, so now you have this client ready to pop, ready to go. So to actually send an email, now they only allow you to send it to verified phone numbers on a trial account. If you pay for it, you can send it to any phone number. But for trial versions, you have to go here to verify phone numbers. I was gonna show my phone number, so I'm not gonna click on it. But go there, and then you can request to verify your own phone or somebody else's phone, and then they can receive it. All right, but it's like super simple to do. So just click on it, add the number, verify it, and then you can send an email to it. Okay, so here basically we can do a check if, I don't know, the price number is smaller than like $1,000, right? Or for this testing purposes, I think the price is $1,200, right? So we can do, if the price number is smaller than 13, just to trigger this, right? But what you'd want to do here is put like 1,000 or whatever price you want it to go below. Let's do 1,000 now. So if it goes below 1,000, then I want to be notified. So I can do client dot messages dot create. All right, we want to create an SMS, and this is basically an object here. So expand that, and this one takes a couple of arguments here, like body. So this is gonna be your actual text message. So what I'm gonna do is actually do backticks here, and I'm gonna say the price of $ curly brackets, and I can just add the product name in here to get a nice SMS. Went below, and I can also put the actual price. So this is coming from up here. So went below that price, and then I can say purchase it at, and I can just say product.link. Awesome. So that's our body. And then from, so the from is gonna be the Twilio number that they give you here in the console. So that's the Twilio phone number. Let's paste that in. And then to is gonna be the number you actually want to send it to, which is gonna be, in this case, if you're on trial, just the verified phone number. So click there, get that number. It can be your phone number, and that's gonna work. If not, if you're an OG and you're not in trial version, then any number. Okay, I'm gonna put something random here. Cool. And that should be it. What we can do, so we create the message, and then this is like a promise. So it might go true or it might not go true. So what we can do is say dot then, open up another pair of parentheses. Actually, we can do it like that. Message, and open this up. So if this goes true, then let's just console log out the message. Okay, so I tried running it with my number here, and it seems to go true. So it runs through everything, and I get the SMS, and then the application stops. All right, but what we want to do now is keep the app running if the price is not below that. And then if it goes below it, then send an SMS once and then stop this from executing over and over again. Okay, so let's lower this to 1,000 back. And then what we can do is create basically an interval. So keep checking and checking. So what we can do is go up here at the top and say set interval. All right, I'm gonna call this handle. Basically, I'm gonna say set interval, like that. I'm gonna say scrape. So I'm basically running this function over and over again. Every, let's say 20 seconds. You can specify it however much you want. And this is a millisecond. So 20,000 is gonna be 20 seconds. Okay, cool. So let's console log this out. I'm just gonna console log out the product. And if I run this, now you're gonna see every 20 seconds, it's gonna keep playing it. So that's one. I should have put less, right? Does this mean we have to wait 20 seconds to see the next console log? But believe me, it's gonna come true. Okay, cool. So this, as long as you keep this node server running, this is gonna keep checking the price. So what we wanna do though is once, there we go, it came true now. When the product actually falls below the price that we want, we don't wanna keep sending SMSs every 20 seconds or so. So here in the .then, so after we send the first one through, we can clear out this interval. So we can come down here and say clear interval, and we can pass in this handle. That's why I saved it in a variable right there. So pass down that handle, and now once it falls below, the whole program stops and we are good to go. So that's it. That's our little Twilio scraper for Amazon. You can do this for any other website, of course, and it should be all fine and dandy. Okay, that's it. That's it. A little fun project. Why not? Yeah, back to React stuff, I guess. All right. See you guys next time. Bye bye.